Hi everyone, I'm Rosanne Tolin and I'm here to discuss my book Freedom's Game, a middle grade dual POV historical fiction novel which was released in October 2024 and is based on the fascinating true heroics of Jewish resistance fighter Georges Lange. The dual POV book follows its 12-year-old protagonists, Elka and Ziggy, two Jewish refugee children hiding in a French chateau during World War II, as they try to navigate their shared distrust of those around them. Ultimately helpful, the book is a story of courage and of resilience. Although set during the Holocaust, my author event doesn't necessarily need to be limited to that time frame. While it does entail being Jewish in a hostile environment, it's not a book in the same way that some others are in this canon, because there are light thriller elements where the reader must follow the clues, as well as focuses on friendship and sports events, all aspects with great kid appeal. It also provides multiple options for presentations. I'm excited to talk to middle grade and high school students alike, and teachers and administrators, especially as part of relevant panels where I can share info in a Q&A environment. I'd love to talk about forms of resistance that don't involve fighting or violence. Too often, these types of resistance are overlooked, especially when it comes to Holocaust study. For example, Georges, the real-life protagonist in my novel, used clever ingenuity rather than physical confrontation to save lives. I want kids to know, whether we're talking about the Holocaust or more generally, that they can make their feelings known quietly in a way that matters to them. When it feels like you're outnumbered or overpowered, it can help to get creative also. I feel like I can definitely speak to that. Express your ideas in words, in books, in poetry, in essays, or in art or music like many people in the camps did. That's one way of adapting and expressing ourselves when things happening around us are upsetting or difficult to understand. Not only is it important to find a friend or adult, like a teacher or a school counselor that you trust, but it's also very important to simply trust ourselves. Kids like to know, and I'd like to impart to them, what it's like to be a writer. When did I know I wanted to be one? How did I make the dream a reality? After sharing the research process involved in historical fiction, for example, and then answering these sorts of questions, I'll seamlessly segue back to the book. It's okay to not be clear about your future path and to be open to experimenting with ideas, trying to figure new things out. What's my passion? That's something kids often ask themselves, or they're asked that question by adults, and sometimes they don't have an answer. There's often obstacles to overcome along the way to finding your passion with anything that's worth pursuing. That's the case. But there's a passage in my book where Elka shows Ziggy a talus her father was making. On the underside, it's messy. The threads are mismatched and there's no obvious pattern to it. But when she turns it over, it is absolutely lovely. And that's where it all makes sense, which is a metaphor for life. In that vein, we can craft bookmarks, for example, starting out with a blank page or even a scrap of unsightly paper and making it into something special. I can employ other craft ideas as well. Bookmarks in particular happen to go along with the reading theme. But above all, I want everyone to know that if we give anything we love to do, our time and our attention, if we put our heart and soul into making something beautiful from nothing, or even from something messy or challenging, the outcome will always be worthwhile. Thank you so much for your time.